Hey everybody, Jo Mangum again with the Strategic Agent, and here you are at part 3. Now, if you haven't seen part 1 or part 2, they're out there for you. You don't have to watch them before you watch this one, but it may be great to give you a little context. In part 3, here we are, we're going to be talking about how to create a measured and strategic response when you get to that letter from the Real Estate Commission saying, hello, explain yourself. That's what we're going to be talking about in this one. So I'm getting out of your way and I'm going to let you go ahead and look at the wonderful information that Pam Vesper will be sharing with you.
Okay, so when the commission comes calling, this always comes as a surprise to licensees because the licensees are intimidated by the Real Estate Commission. They're afraid because they can lose their license, and maybe in the back of their head they know, oh God, I have those old things I didn't tell them about, and I know I'd mess up in this deal, and oh, I'm going to go down like a bad airplane. The thing about it is, while you're going to cooperate with the Real Estate Commission and you're going to give them all of the records that they're asking for, you're going to show them the files that they're asking for.
There's no upside for doing anything different.
But you have a right to have someone look at your response, to look at the documents you're sending before you send them to the commission. Because, you know, we want to be...
Jo Mangum.
I knew you'd be surprised about that, but good Lord.
I did. I choked on my wine over that.
Woo! You know, you have a right to an attorney, and you want to put your best foot forward with the commission, and, you know, get someone who can help you stay on point and not drift all over and not get emotional
And make excuses.
Right. I mean, let someone a third party step back, let you take a breath, look at what you're out proffering them, and say, well, you know, it might be helpful to say this, or it might be helpful to also give them this, so that they get a full picture of what is going on.
Because I would go, and I would start responding. And I would start defending myself, and there's no good from that. It would be much better for you to take a look at it and say, yeah, you probably shouldn't say that.
Right, right. I mean, you're maybe giving them, like, way too much drama. Like, you know, oh, my life is drama, and it's drama, 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 and you've got 10 pages of drama in there because you're feeling bad and guilty.
They don't care.
They don't want all that drama.
They want
you to explain what is going on, and they want you to fess up, and they want to see what kind of person you are today.
I know these guys, they don't want to take you down.
They don't.
They don't.
They want you to, you know, they know you're going to make mistakes.
Yep.
They know you're going to have to face the music, and they want to see how you handle yourself when it's time to face the music. So if you can make it right with the person who's injured, if you admit to your mistakes and take your lumps and try to fix it and apologize, you know, you might face some discipline, but you're going to mitigate the damages, and you're going to lower the discipline. So, you know, a lot of folks call me after the hearing has been called, and I so many times wish they had called me before they responded so that I could talk to them and explain the process to them and say, yeah, this is a crazy answer. Let's sit back and do it again. And let's you know, let me guide you so that you understand what they're looking for. And
you need somebody on your side when you get called.
Yes. Yes.
You need somebody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because you're staking yourself out, and you know, you want to look and you want to put your best foot forward.
And if you do decide to call someone like Pam or Pam, one of the things that you need to do is one of our things on our list is come clean.
Please.
Please, because people will call you and lie to you, and you know, I mean, you've been around the block many times, and you know when something doesn't quite make sense.
Yes, and you know, they'll tell me the story, and I know it's hard for people to admit when they've done something wrong.
Sure.
And they'll say, oh no, you know, the butler did it. The butler did it. I didn't do it. The butler did it. And I'll say, that's really weird. Well, give me the butler's phone number. Oh, well, I don't know the phone number of the butler, and I think they left town, and well, it's going to be really important for us to find the butler. Oh, you know, oh no, let's just pretend the butler, you know,
he's gone.
Yeah, he's gone. So what do we do next? I'm like, okay, what we do next is you need to take 20 minutes, and I'm going to call you back, and you're going to think about how you want to proceed, because I can't defend you unless I know what the story is.
Okay.
Right? So unless you tell me what you did, and I know what the allegations are going to be, and I know what evidence the commission's going to have, then I can't defend you. So The first step is coming clean, and the second step is for me to help you come clean to the commission in the best way possible. Really.
And so here's my question. Why is it that my wine glass is almost empty and yours is
Hey, come on now. I'm not that far behind.
Okay, good. All right, so I have on my list that one of the things, and I think it leads right into that, is the idea of you actually can get a negotiation going with the real estate commission.
Yes, you can. So, it's just, I was going to say it's like when you negotiate for a house. You make a lower offer and they come back, and then you come up a little and they come down a little and all that. But these days in our market, when you're selling houses, there is no negotiating.
We're recording this. We're getting like 9 offers on every house.
Exactly. It's crazy.
It is a little bit crazy.
But,
and let me say, when it's crazy like this, you go out on limbs more, trying to get something for a client. And so you're open up to more things.
It's true.
It is true. It really is
Try to get creative. In our market, we're doing a lot of letters. Oh, I love your house.
The pictures now. They're putting so when they're writing houses, they're putting pictures with them to send to the seller. And a National Association of Realtors has deemed that as illegal.
Right.
A fair housing problem.
Isn't that fascinating?
Isn't that fascinating?
Yes.
Yeah, they have. Or escalation clauses, or things like that. They're right.
Yeah, commission does not like.
They don't like those things.
Clauses.
They don't like those things, and so we're doing those things to promote the interest of our buyer, and they push us out to the edge.
Right. Yes, exactly.
And we have a lot more people coming into the market, and a lot more people that are doing bad things.
Yes, exactly. I think there was a big shakeup in the marketplace in 2008 when it all tanked. A lot of people kind of got out of the business, but now that it's back, so they're just setting out their own shingles, and so they don't necessarily know what they're doing. And they suddenly want agents under them because there are a ton of new agents coming out there. And so you got a lot of people who don't know quite how to handle things.
So I had an agent tell me the other day that he got a telephone call from an agent, and he had done a tear down downtown and built a new house, and that's what he had listed, and that the new agent was demanding the septic permit. And he said, well, I don't have a septic permit. And she said, well, you're trying to cover up how you don't have a septic permit. He said, well, I'm in the city. I don't need a septic permit. Yes, you do. And he was like, really? Really?
Let me speak to your broker for a minute.
Have a conversation. So we're seeing a lot more of that kind of thing going on because we have so many people flooding in.
Right. Exactly.
When the commission comes calling, what I'm hearing is take a deep breath before you answer. Get good information and good guidance before that. Even if you did something wrong, you need to come clean, and you and your real estate attorney can work on the strategy for moving you through this process with the least amount of damage.
Right, exactly.
I mean, that's really it. And, most agents, I know there are some agents, I've been in the business over, it's 1993, some hitting on, some hitting on a really long time. And very rarely have I seen really malicious people.
It's true.
I mean, there are a few that they intentionally did wrong things. But the majority of people just made mistakes, and then their biggest mistake was trying to hide or backtrack behind it. That was the bigger mistake.
Exactly.
But you can get through this process if you get some guidance.
Yes, and I read the bulletin. I know everybody reads the bulletin. They flip it to the back immediately to find out who was disciplined.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, And I read the discipline, and I see, by consent, such and such happened. By consent, such and such happened. And what that tells me is that was a settlement. So
that's a really good question.
Mm-hmm.
So when I posted a picture of Pam and I drinking wine at lunch the other day and did a preview that we were going to be doing this interview, and one of the comments I got was that he had just read the bulletin, and there was somebody who admitted no wrong but did voluntary surrender. So that means there was a negotiation, if that's what that means?
Yes.
Got it?
Yes.
Okay.
So the voluntary surrender is the one way you cannot admit your guilt. And it's just basically, I'm just out. You know, drop the microphone, I'm just done. Let's just, here, take it. I don't want it anymore.
Right.
But, you know, even, and a lot of licensees will also say, I'm going to let my license expire. I'll just let it expire. Then they won't do anything. It doesn't work because the commission knows you could come back and reapply. And so when you did something with your license in place, they're going to continue to the end, and it'll be on your record so that if you ever reapply, it will be there. So
they will know.
They will know. And, you know, it also could affect other licenses. Because if you're licensed here and in South Carolina, you know, a lot of our folks in Charlotte,
they do that now.
So, but so when I see the bulletin and I see by consent, I know that they had some discussions with the attorneys over there, and I wonder, do they have counsel? Do they have counsel? You know, because sometimes the discipline it seems tough, and other times it seems fair. And I wonder if the critical difference is that they had counsel who knew, hey, wait a minute, let's, you know, can we do this? I mean, we have flexibility with the language in the bulletin. We have flexibility with when your discipline starts.
Really?
So if you say my slow period is December through March, and the commission wants a 3-month active suspension, they will move the discipline so that it's during your downtime to accommodate you. And this is during a disciplinary discussion. So they are not trying to, you know, bury you. They are trying to figure out a fundamentally fair discipline. And my job and any other real estate or administrative lawyer's job is to help you get the most fair deal. You know, hey, what if they take one more class? What if they take one more class and you put them on probation for a longer period of time? So the active time shrinks, the probation gets bigger, and this way you win because you get a longer time when we know they can get in trouble, but they don't lose that income for such a long period of time.
I had no idea. I mean, I've looked at the commission bulletin. In North Carolina, we get a bulletin every quarter that tells us who's gotten disciplined. And I look at it, and I wonder why that person got X, and that person got Z, and that person got... So that's the answer.
Yes, and here's the thing. So I have this data bank of clients and of cases that I worked over my 15 years with the Real Estate Commission. And so I know, well, wait a minute, I had a client who got X, and the facts are similar. And the attorneys at the commission are willing to listen. So I can say, hey, do you remember that case? It was very similar. It was such and such. And if you pull that case and look at it, you gave that client a conditional dismissal, which means they're going to dismiss the case if they do certain things. So can we get that same kind of deal for this guy or this gal? And they'll say, let me pull the file and let's talk about it.
So if they see that they have done that before,
they're willing to try to, you know.
So that's the beauty of you having worked the Real Estate Commission for a long period of time. You know what those old cases are.
Exactly.
The old precedent issue.
Yes, exactly. And so it can help. It can help.
Yeah, I'm calling you if I'm Hope I don't. Hope I don't. Hope I can continue to drink wine with you.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so I'm looking at my notes about when the commission calls. You don't have to hand documents over on the spot. You can say, I'm handing them to an attorney to take a look at them before I do that.
Yes. And although your knees may be knocking and you may be like, oh, God, let me just, glue them together or whatever I have and thrust it at them. That's not your best foot forward.
That's not your best foot.
And so let's just say we're going to give you whatever you need, but let me call my lawyer and we're going to get it all together so it makes some sense for y'all.
Right.
And I can do my written narrative. I can do an explanation. I can talk with my attorney, and then we can talk about it with the commission with you not being scared out of your wits, shaking, knees knocking. I can't tell you how many times people cried when I knocked on the door just because they knew something was bad, and I knocked on the door as an auditor and they just burst into tears. Oh God, they knew it was going to happen.
Was it bad being an auditor? Because everybody hated you.
Everybody was scared of me. And so now it's really interesting because now I'm on the totally opposite side.
Right, everybody loves you.
Yeah, I know.
They're like, come save me.
Please, what do I do?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was weird because people were afraid of me, and I tried to be fair. And if they They
Yeah.
had a big closing. They were, leaving the office. I'd say, fine, go to your closing. I'll come back. What time works for you? Come back at 2. Or my bookkeeper's at lunch. Can you come back? Sure. I would work with agents because I knew that they were so scared. But I also got plenty of folks who try to, dodge and weave, and I had one guy who said, I'm not going to show you nothing. And I said, wow, well, that's not going to go over
not
very
really
well.
a good step here.
You think that's going to be the end of it? No. And he said, well, you just do what you have to do, but I'm not showing you nothing. That's not the response.
So y'all don't,
Yeah.
a lot of people don't know this, but real estate commissions have the right to subpoena.
Yes, exactly.
And they have the right to do some legal stuff. I
Yes.
mean, don't underestimate it.
Right.
You're not going to, telling a real estate investigator, this is none of your affair, or this is a personal matter. Yeah, no.
No. And certainly, one of the things I did learn is that there's always another side to the story.
Yeah, there's always.
And so a letter would be written, and we'd read it and say, oh my God, this agent's going to get revoked. This is terrible. But then when you went to the other side and to interview them, you realize, oh, wait a minute. They forgot to tell us about this little tidbit. It changes the whole discussion. I had jilted girlfriends rat out their boyfriends.
Oh, and that was one of my notes.
No.
Lovers will always turn you in.
Yeah, they will. Yes, they will.
And office mates will too.
Office mates will too, especially if you're busy and they're not. They get jealous.
Totally.
Yes.
Office. Yeah, there's a huge case here in Raleigh where someone was doing BPOs for money when it was not legal. It's legal now, but when it was not legal, and her office mate turned her in.
Yes, I felt bad for her because she got revoked as she was the example.
She was the public hanging.
Yes, she was. And then a year later they changed the rule. Yes,
but she was publicly hung.
Gosh,
I mean, whoo.
I had a woman say that my ex-boyfriend is wanted in Montana by the feds, or I don't know, by the state. It was in Montana, so the state government in Montana was looking for him, and I said, well, that's not good. So I spent a good few days trying to make contact with the authorities in Montana, only to find out it was a big fat lie. She was mad because he'd broken up with her, and he opened a case, and the commission is going to investigate those cases. And they're going to find out it's just a big fat lie.
They're not stupid.
But she wasn't licensed, and so what are the ramifications for her? Now, if she was licensed as a real estate agent and she made something up, then she could have it turn right back around at her and say, well, you're making up stories. This goes to your integrity, so let's look at your character. So.
Okay, so let's bring all the... We gave you some really good examples of do's. We gave you really good examples of don'ts. And we talked to you about when the real estate commission comes calling, what is it that you should do? Right, okay?
Yeah.
All through here, we've talked about you need help, you need help, you need help, get guidance, get guidance, get guidance. I'm going to be posting all of Pam's information here. So you can, if you have something going on or you failed to do a criminal conviction, report a criminal conviction, or anything that's going on. Or I had somebody call me the other day wanting your number because he is an owner of a small company and he wanted somebody to come in and make sure he was compliant. And you're the perfect person for that.
Yeah.
You do that a lot to
that.
make sure I'm compliant. And so any of those things, as you can tell, she's incredibly knowledgeable and she absolutely protects and goes to bat for her clients.
I'm doing my penance for all those years with the real estate commission.
All right, so I'm officially out of wine.
I'm almost officially out of wine.
And that means the interview has to end.
Aww.
If I'm out of wine,
all good things must come to an end.
They must come to an end. But thank you so much.
Thanks for having
I'm really
me.
excited about all of y'all seeing this because it's great information.
Glad to help.
Bye.
Bye.